This is UTV Action, and today we're going to talk about this, the Honda Talon. We call it the HCR 3. It's a car that Honda won't build, and it's also got some features that no other manufacturer will build, including 3 seats. We turned this 4-seater into a 3-seater, so when we go on big adventure rides, the back passenger has a good enough time as the guys up front. But we want to do a little walk around and show you what we put on it. For suspension, HCR +4 kit. Widens the car to just about how the R Talon is, but to make it was still not very plush, so we went with Zebro's spring kit. First bump we hit, it already plushed the ride. It was amazing how well it did already. We're still in the middle of testing, but things are looking good. We're going to go over all the Assault products. Assault really helped us out with the cage. But we'll start up front with the bumper, and then their standard mirrors. They put this little kind of wind deflector on it, which is really nice. The cage is 1 3/4 inch, so we can use 1 3/4 inch accessories. You know, they have 2-inch accessories, but we wanted to use 1 3/4 inch, so then the whole cage isn't as heavy as you know, bigger tubing would be. Of course, an Assault convex mirror up front, and the steering wheel. We'll go back up here. EFX gripper tires. These are 10 plies on a fuel wheel. We really don't think we're going to get a flat because that's a super strong tire that's good for all terrains, but we did mount a 5th tire on the back. Kind of an old school buggy look. Sits up out of the way. We still have room in the back for more cargo. And then I'll show you what's inside. We'll start in the back. For that rear passenger to get back there, he slides across the Pro Eagle air jack. It's got a soft pad. It fit right in that spot. We have an OGO cooler, so there's enough room in there for lunch on the trail, whatnot. The seat was actually pretty easy to install. We had to make one little bracket to mount it in the front, but in the rear, we just made the holes bigger in the seat frame, and then it actually mounted to the stock posts from the other right and left seat. So actually, no welding, a little bit of cutting, one little piece of metal, a couple extra bolts, worked out good. The rear passenger just has to straddle the tunnel now, which is no big deal. Actually, super comfortable ride. More HCR in the back, full trailing arm kit, Assault's sway bar link. We went with Demon Power Sports axles. It's a full half shaft, so you just pop that thing on, pull your stock stuff off, put the Demon one in. HCR does sell an axle to go with their kit, but then you have to pull all your stock CVs off the axles, and just kind of a hassle, so we went with that half shaft from Demon Power Sports. HCR's radius rods are back here. Oh, another thing we're just testing out is Garmin's backup camera. It goes with that tread that's up front that we'll show you later, but there's a little backup camera you can put anywhere on the car. It's actually wireless, and it goes to the tread GPS unit up front. So for the rear passenger, there's a little bit of heat shielding from DEI. They have heat shielding for all kinds of stuff, but they make some for the Talon that protects the rear passengers. And then there's also one that's right in front of the front firewall, keeps all that heat from the radiator from going in the back. And then you'll see what ties all that suspension together, strengthens the frame, is the Raceco gussets. There's a shock tower gusset brace. There's the A-arm mount braces. really helps kind of make that frame, the pickup points really rigid, and you know, keeps you from wrecking the stock frame after adding all this weight and leverage of the HCR kit. And then for the driver, we put in a rugged intercom and a rugged radio, but we got the 364, which has the push to talk buttons, in the intercom. Then we didn't need to cut anything more in the dash, because the Talon doesn't have a lot of room for this kind of stuff. So again, that's another reason we went with the Assault radio mount, which mounts up on the ceiling. We put it above the passenger so the driver can see it, the driver can operate it, the passenger can operate it too, once he knows, you know, where the buttons are and things like that to push. Here's that tread. It's up right behind the Assault steering wheel. Then that is the coolest thing that we bolt that on almost every one of our project cars. Not only is it GPS, you know, Garmin's well known for GPS, but it does have buddy track or group ride. They call it group ride. So if your buddy has one of these in his car, you can see him, just like a Polaris Ride Command system or a Trail Tech system. It works off of a FM signal. If you're about 5 miles away or closer, you'll be able to see your friends and find them. We've actually played a little game of hide and seek with a couple cars one time, and it was a blast. We wish it would pair to the Ride Command, but it doesn't. Maybe someday it will, but for now it doesn't. But the Garmin Tread is a really cool feature that we put on this thing. When we get driving at night, we installed a clean light bar from Open Trail. It's their new Stealth model. Kind of has a black tint to it, still super bright, really sleek and clean, and fits through those two A-pillars on the Assault cage. One more thing that you can't see, two more things. Right behind that wheel right there, that fuel wheel, is a braking rotor. Really thick, really vented, strong rotor. It'll slow this car down. The car's a lot heavier now with the bigger wheels and tires, extra suspension. So that braking rotor really helps slow the car down. And then over there by that passenger, we have that Rig Gear Hurricane waterproof bag. It's another way to carry gear. Has tons of pockets in it, totally waterproof. We put overnight stuff in there if we're going on one of our 2 or 3 day trips. But right under here is a Trail Tank oversized gas tank. Bumps the stock 7+ gallon tank up to 11 gallons. So it adds about 40 miles to our ride. We can almost get 200 miles out of this Talon now, if we're not in the dunes or on hard pack graded roads. We're pushing about 200 miles, which is plenty for a day's ride. And we're gonna go do some action shots and see how this thing works in the whoops, show you a couple videos of that, and tie it all together for a future article, in UTV Action Magazine. Stay tuned. right, we've learned a few things. To be honest with you, we were a little hesitant on adding wider arms to the narrow Talon, but it works. It basically, you feel like you have about 50% more suspension travel. The stock shocks, it's amazing how well they do once there's a little more leverage on the car and on the shocks themselves. They were a little soft in the beginning. We put Zebro springs on them, and it's amazing. You can hammer this thing just like you could, say, you know, the R model or like a Turbo S Razor. There's a little bit of feedback in the steering wheel in the front end. It's sort of like if you had a wide X3 and put big heavy tires on it, you can feel that. We can go with a little lighter tire. It might help some, but these tires were amazing. Through all the testing we've done, not a scratch on them, haven't lost any pressure. They hook up amazingly. One of the best things is the look. I mean, this car looks cool. Assault did a really good job making this car look good. We figured out a way to use the stock nets. The third seat, we can't wait to take this thing down to Baja and, you know, put it through what we built it for. We know it can handle it. Now we're gonna go use it and just enjoy it. You know, we love the Talon, we love the 4-seater, and now the 4-seater is good enough to take anywhere. Really happy with it.